Shoutcaster, Childish Gambino, joined here today with an honor, nay, the privilege of a colorcaster by the name of Essol. How are you doing today, Essol?
I'm
Very
doing
happy
great,
today.
thanks. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Looking forward to this match today. Going to be a good one, I imagine, judging from the SRs of the team and how they've played before. So should be good. What do you think is
And
going to
by
happen?
the looks of it, we've got Soul in the blue and Elysium in the red. I'm excited, and it seems the first map is going to be Junkertown. What can you tell us about that map, friend?
Junkertown's got a weird sort of history around it. Always had its own meta, really, because the long sight lines. There's a lot of long sight lines. Not much airspace that you can cover. You can cover the airspace with fire, but there's not much defense for her, not much pillars for the air. So she's not really used because of snipers and that. So you don't see much of her on this map. So it can be very difficult with what's happening.
Now, speaking of metas, we've not had the chance to cast before, but I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts on Sigma? I did just get him in the practice range. He's interesting. He's is more or less kind of a Symmetra. Got the leftovers from her kit, and they kind of shove that in with a Zarya and what looks to be an Orisa. What are your thoughts?
It's a really strong comp, especially with that Sigma. Shutting down those off angles and adding more frontline pressure is really big, especially with the mobility of his shield. That's what causes a lot of it, in my opinion. That mobility plus that health buff is insane. You get to shut down people if they're coming behind you any direction. Really makes off angles hard to get any value out of her. Any snipers hard to get value.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot crit with his attack, can you?
You cannot. And it also deals a slight amount of knockback, but it's very weird how it works. Where it knocks you
Interesting.
inwards and then outwards.
So, can that be considered crowd control, or is it merely a displacement for comedic effect?
It's just a displacement for comedic effect. It doesn't really move you, but you can get environmental kills with it, which is the most interesting
Interesting.
bit.
Well, it looks like we're switching to Oasis instead, possibly. What will we do? Alrighty, it seems the first team has picked Oasis.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oasis is known for a lot of fire play, except on a university where it's seen more like brawly comps almost. And dive was ran quite often on Oasis, so I wonder if we'll be getting the treat of that maybe, or if we're just going to be sticking to the original, the original Risa Sigma here.
Well, in regards to the meta, I do believe 222 is being enforced nowadays, and we've also seen changes to the bunker composition. Any thoughts on that?
Well, what I've seen previously, some teams instead of going for the Sigma, they're opting to instead choose for a Wrecking Ball, and that Wrecking Ball can be used to create displacement and cause very fast engages. However, if you don't have that in fast engage, you're struggling to get any damage in, and you eventually will just die off because of sustain.
Now, that's an interesting observation if I ever did see one, only because Hammond, such a weird hero in the game, in my opinion. He's not particularly great at doing any one thing because he's, more or less a roadhog with a couple extra steps, but he's got fantastic displacement abilities, and I have to say it, I'm not a huge fan of him personally, but I've seen some crazy plays with him.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball's kind of in a weird spot because it's a lot of displacement, and he's the one hero in the game I'd say that he gets more value the more you focus him. Because there's a certain point where if you're focusing him, you have all the other people coming onto you, and he's got 600 more health. He's at like 1,000 health or something. But you have these other people that you could be focused on that are trying to get value off of that displacement. So instead of putting all your resources into the Hammond, you kind of want to be not putting your resources in that Hammond. You just kind of want to force him away a bit, which he'll probably run away anyways. But when you force them away, you want to be focusing on those other people that are trying to come in and get value off of that displacement, or you regroup fast enough where they can't hurt you.
Now, we talk about these things as if they've been going on for a long time, which I would agree with you, they do. But you know what I want to see change? I want to see Symmetra come back. I really want to see those bunker comps use Symmetra. I want to see something like to make Hammond worry a little bit more than he should.
Yeah, I'd be looking forward to some Sim Bastion, you know? That's always intrigued me. I've always loved some Sim
Welcome
Bastion
to
plays, some sneaky
Oasis.
teleporters around the place, maybe even some baits with teleporters.
Prepare for
Sim's
battle.
really interesting here, in my opinion, with what you
Select
can do
your
with that
hero.
teleporter.
Alrighty, and we're jumping right into Oasis here. In the red here, we've got Kaido Walter, Nether Dragon, Nick to Nick, Onyx, Ray, and Hestia. But why don't you tell us who's in the blue, if you would, Essel?
We have Ballistica, Beppis, Wa, Pig for Prez, Fridge, and Bakugo.
Ready for battle.
Oh, Bakugo. I wonder if he likes Boku no Hero Academia. 22 seconds on the clock here, and I am already having a good feeling about these team comps. I'm seeing a Reaper on both sides, but are they going to commit to that?
Seems like a Pharah too from Nick to Nick over there, but with looking at the healers, you got to be wondering if that's a commit. Maybe he's swapping off so he can go back to Mercy, but for the speed boost. But
4,
Now, those
3,
healers do worry me on behalf of Elysium, only because
round 1.
Pharah's going to have a hard time
Capture
healing.
the
Not so
objective.
much Reaper, but okay, we're going to see the switch into the pharmacy, and they're off.
Barrier
Go ahead
in
and
place.
group up, and they're going to start sending out the first fights.
if it's a team in the blue here, Soul, you're gonna be looking for a fast engage with that Reaper and Doomfist comparatively to the Pharah Mercy.
Okay, we're gonna see who takes first blood here. Beppis has gone down to Hestia here. Both Reapers. These first engage here will determine the point. Unlocking in about 2 seconds here. It looks like Soul's gonna get on the point first here. We're gonna start exchanging a couple more shots here. But a quick show of power from Elysium, sweeping Soul right out of the air and off the ground. We need to regroup and taking the first point.
If you're Soul after that one, yeah, you're gonna swap over to that Kree there. You've had a fast engage like that, you want to kind of keep that fast engage is screwing you over. They did exactly what they needed to do there from Elysium.
Now, McCree's gonna need that hit scan to take care of Farah, but I wonder, their ultimate is almost already ready. That worries me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big ultimate fight here. That Coalescence coming up fast could really help the side of Elysium here.
And the point is being contested here. We're seeing some fire being exchanged here, but no real focus just yet. Again, Elysium popping off. The Coalescence does come out on both sides here. They're gonna really just lick each other here with the healing. A res coming up on the McCree. Verifying a kill on the Moira here. But Elysium really just having a solid hold here. So looking for some sort of angle here. They're having trouble engaging. Valkyrie does get popped for the team here of Elysium. They're gonna try and keep everybody alive here. Not really having any trouble here. Bakugo does pick off Farah. Reaper picking off Beppis. The Sigma picking off the Sigma. The mirror matching is a little interesting here. Seeing a lot of commonalities in the team comps. But it just looks like right now Elysium is having the easier time of engaging. Now, 65% and counting. What are your thoughts on their aggression, Essel?
The aggression is really good, I think, from Elysium here. That Reaper, you're gonna get in as close as you can with him. You want to shut down that Kree space too. And with these ultimates coming up, I think we might see maybe a full signal into a Reaper ult coming up from Elysium here.
Now, I do see the ult economy significantly stronger for Elysium. They had to use almost nothing to defend the point. Now, when they come on for that last push, it's going to be devastating for the Green. Rush coming out. Beppis picking out somebody here, and a Death Blossom does not get very far. Beppis picking up a double kill, but the rest coming up on Farah here. Overtime has been activated. It is high noon, and just like that, Soul has swept the point rather well here. Very smooth. As a matter of fact, that was extremely efficient. What it was worth, but now they're on the board.
That was almost 6 ultimates there from Elysium too. And if you're Soul, you're really happy with that. 4 ultimates for 6 is a great trade in that situation, and you could take the point. I'd take that any day.
Now, we still do have the Coalescence and the ult from Sigma, which is exciting. It means Soul has finally woken up. They are not going to give out this fight just yet.
If you're Elysium here, you're going to look for a fast engage with that Doomfist, try and go for full punches maybe.
Coalescence does get popped. They are forcing Elysium to group up and fall back. Bakugo picking up a double kill. It looks like they are finally into the groove of things. They've warmed up. And now, Elysium is going to be forced to play a little bit more safe in terms of team comps. Ballistica and Fritch picking up a res and a kill respectively.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for that Doomfist to get any space with that Pharah and Kree always wide his back. The ultimates look like they're in the favor of Elysium here, too, with 2 support ultimates comparatively to only a Valkyrie and a Barrage Soul.
Now, I do wonder if they're going to try and swap out Doomfist. He cannot get in edgewise. Barrage does come out, gets denied from Estia. They are going to fire right back. Coalescence does come out. The Meteor Strike also coming out. As well does touch down. No value from that. But Paper Breath does go down. And Moira and Ballistica go down as well. It's high noon. The rest coming up on the Arisa here. Doomfist picking up another kill on the McCree here. but Arisa Estia, and it looks like just barely Elysium might still be able to sweep this off. They just need to get rid of that Doomfist on top, but if they have any mobility, a Doomfist on Doomfist action here, and will come right back on the point here. Might try and hold Morris to kind of keep him healthy. Does not succeed. Peppers picks off Nick, and they are still in this. It is now in overtime for both sides. This last team fight will determine who gets the point. Let's go. Switching to the Hammond here, picks off another dragon. It is exciting, but very scary to say the least that these teams are only on the first point of the first map, and they are playing this aggressively. Well played, if I can say so myself.
Lots of picks back and forth here, and a comp switch from Soul here might just win them the game with those fast heroes dealing damage to those one individual targets.
And High Noon does get popped, but Soul, in a stunning turn of events, actually takes the point 0-100 with a wonderful comeback. Now, I have to say, I've yet to see them play before this. I'm already impressed by both teams being able to fight so efficiently.
Yeah, if you're Soul there, if you're Soul who took that point there, you're happy about that. That's a 100% comeback from 99 there. And if you're Elysium, it's those 6 ultimates that you invested in a lost fight. I think that really loses you that there. Those ultimates are necessary. And they could have swapped even though they used those ultimates, but they didn't do a full comp switch, which I think really held them back from, taking that point.
Now, this is the kind of high-level gameplay that I live for. I do see a couple swaps coming out. Both teams picking up Sigma here. We've got a Reaper on both sides, a Lucio. There's a lot of commonalities here. Really, the only difference, I believe, is really their playstyle. We have to boil it down to it.
This map is definitely more brawly, and it's going to go for the more aggressive players, trying to take the space that they can.
And it's really just a matter of who can use their shields better here, because I've seen lots of shields come down, lots of shatters, but effectively so, it is because they want to get those team fights right where they want them to be.
Yeah, Elysium here definitely took that space, and they're holding it well, making sure that Soul can't get to the point here.
And just like that, we're already seeing Elysium pick up the first point on this map. And again, I apologize, the second point. But Nick to Nick going to be picking up a kill. 14% and counting, but it's a repeat of what happened last time. They will get the point early, but they could get it swept right under their feet with ult usage.
Looks like 2 coalescences on each side. Pretty even ultimates, looking at it.
And speaking of which, it is like 2 lightsabers horizontally, raising across the battlefield. And Hestia picking up a double kill. That Death Blossom almost online, which could be devastating when it comes to contest that point.
What Elysium here is doing, it looks like they're getting that Doom in the back line before the fight, or meanwhile while the fight's going on, then they're pressuring the front line to get the team split so they can get a good push in and pressure them out properly and get those kills that they need to do.
Now, I do believe we saw 2 environmental kills there, possibly. I'm not quite sure. But 55% and counting. It is looking good for Elysium. It could be a 1-1 to break the tie on the 3rd point. I'm curious what Soul has up their sleeves. We've got the sound barrier almost online here for the next team fight. And we also have that Sigma ult.
That's coming up against 4 maybe ults from Soul, or Elysium here. Let's see how good it uses. The ults are really going to matter in this fight.
Sound barrier does go down, and the power booster. Death Blossom going out a little early here. Will pick up a triple, however, on Bakugo Bridge and take the press with Guido Alter also picking up a kill. Nick to Nick also. Elysium, definite show of force here. A team kill yet again. Fantastic job. 90% and counting.
However, there's a 4-2 ultimate charge here. Those 4 ultimates have to be used extremely effectively here from Soul. Otherwise, they're really going to struggle to get this point for those against those 2 ultimates from Elysium.
Coalescence does got it first here. Both of them coming out, and we're going to see the point get contested here. The signal has been used. Sound barrier does go down, but quickly gets shredded here. And Soul has taken the point yet again. We're seeing a repeat of what just happened on the last point, but not without good cause. They are using the ult they have at the opportune moments to take back the point. They know. They seem a little trigger happy with how they engage. They are looking at their opponent and finding those weaknesses.
Soul also saved 2 ultimates here, which is really big here. They have that Doomfist ultimate coming up too. Those 2 ultimates allow them here. A Bongo Reaper ult could be huge here from them, just against 1 single ultimate from Elysium.
Now, I will like to see what they have planned this next team fight, because we've got the power booster. We've seen Doomfist get a kill here. It looks like Elysium is already to take back the point. It is quite the dangerous position here for Soul. They are losing members left and right here. Bakugo finally finding a kill on Nether Dragon. Meteor Strike does come out once again, but on Soul's behalf, Hesiod does pick off Bridge with a kill on kind of like here. Nick finding a kill on Bakugo. These Doomfists have been back and forth. These Reapers have been back and forth. It is quite interesting. The Death Blossom coming out here. Overtime has been activated. Soul has lost the point, and will they defend it here? It looks like they will. No, just kidding. They are just barely going to come right on the point, trickling. It is not good. I did see the knockdown here. Very interesting. And here, but the Hammond also trying to stay alive. How long will that be? Nick has picked up a double kill, and they are still trickling in. Death Blossom does go out, doesn't pick up anything, but a valiant effort on behalf of Soul. It is now 1-1 on map 1. Thoughts?
That bongo there could have been huge, but he used it a little bit too aggressively and a little bit into the enemy team's map space in this very vulnerable spot, which caused it to get destroyed easily. That's losing a big amount of value from Soul there. And then it made sure that Reaper couldn't be used afterwards, and there was no good opportunity for it to be used because of the Doomfist ult that came in with that pull and got the kill on the Risa there.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to those just joining us. We're currently still on map 1. It is tied 1-1. This point will determine it all, and we've seen Soul and Elysium give great effort in terms of their team fights. Now, I'm curious to see how their ult usage evolves over the next few maps, but we're coming right back into it, and I'm seeing a Tracer. How often do we see a Tracer on maps like this?
Tracer is not an often hero pick here, but they're opting for the dive that I was talking about, which could be strong this map if run properly. You got to get those side angles and all dive at the same target, otherwise you're going to be pretty useless.
Now, I do value a good dive comp, but I do question. You have the Winston, but where is that D.Va? I'd argue D.Va might be a little bit more suited here for that flexibility and verticality, but we'll have to see, because the Hammond also a great pick if played properly.
Yeah, with that Hammond, they're going to look for some disruption and some displacement, then try and get picks off of that. Just like that Reaper there, booped him away and got him out.
And already first blood has been taken by Krampus. So already have a strong lead on the capture here, and they take it with a strong show of force in that first team fight. But we're looking around the corner here. Elysium, caught between a rock and a hard place here. They're gonna try and fight their way back, but Tracer being annoying per usual, trying to get in the back line. The bomb is already ready for her. But looking at Basilica with the minefield ready to go as well. But then you look at the Coalescence ready for Moira on behalf of Elysium, and that could be handy when they push onto the point yet again. But that bomb has killed off the Sigma Coalescence being dropped once again. With the minefield also being in tow here, we're going to see if that picks up any value, and we've got a jump kill on behalf of Winston. Elysium having a lot of trouble trying to get on that point. It could be that Soul has finally broken out of their shell.
Lots of staggers there too, very staggered deaths. Looking at the ultimates here, it looks like Soul here is going to have an advantage by actually about even ultimate charge here, but I think Soul will use them in their dive, making it 3 times more effective than previous.
Now, Elysium is struggling, but what are they doing differently on this map specifically that they're struggling so much with?
Well, they didn't take any point control there, and that's a huge thing. So Elysium took the point control, or Soul took point control, might be. They took point control and then dove anyone who tried to contest the point, winning the point over there, and eventually winning the sustain game.
Now, you say that, and I would agree, but then we're seeing them come right back onto the point here with a show, of course. We've had that theme going on this entire first map, and I really do like how it is back and forth. There is no clear better team here. It is just neck and neck. They are really just itching to fight each other, and I love that.
Elysium really, what they did there is they made sure that they could not stage a dive. They made sure Soul was not in any position to stage a dive onto them at any point, therefore making their comp useless.
And with just one ult and another 2 on the way for Elysium, it could be sizing up to be another great team fight. We're seeing the Minefield come up for the Hammond on behalf of Soul. But at the point, the Coalescence and Sunbearer coming down as well. A little strange to use those in tandem. But I will say right now, we're seeing Elysium clean up the enemy team. It is now 3-6. We'll be forced to regroup once again, and we're seeing a team suicide there so they can regroup. That is okay. Classic strategy.
Rise to move
They are
behind
successfully holding it. It's now 42% and counting. This is still anyone's game.
If you're Elysium there, maybe you're not too happy with that a bit, those ultimates in there. You really didn't need any of those, but let's see how they use this Reaper ult and this Signal together to try and get those kills.
We could even say that even though those ults weren't favorable, look at just how much they are making Soul play around their team composition. Barrier comes down, but Death Blossom come out, does pick up a kill, and another kill for Hestia. They are doing a great job of giving Soul a run for their money. They are at 70% and counting. They could possibly take this, but they have to be patient. We do not want to see a repeat of Soul sweeping at the last minute, even with no ult. I do have a feeling they could still be quite threatening to Elysium.
The issue here is that when Soul swapped their comp, they got rid of any ultimate charge they had, giving the other team an ultimate advantage, but you have to do that to try and win it in the end game. You give up a few fights, but you hopefully take it at the end.
And with the what looks to be the final team fight possibly for both teams, seeing Ray pick up Bempis, take for Press, pick up Hestia. It is still anybody's game. 5-5. We've got the overtime timer. Ballistica picking up another dragon. We've got something happening on the Doomfist here. Nick to Nick, the other Doomfist picks up the bridge. Coalescence comes out. Bempis picking up Nick to Nick, and somehow Soul has taken it back. And we're seeing another ult usage here. Going to be picking off a kill on the Lucio. It is now again 92% and counting. If they cannot get on the point, they have no ultimate. It is not looking good for Elysium. Again, excellent planning on behalf of Soul here. They quite possibly could be taking it. The timer is running out, and F's going to try and get in there. Will extend the timer, but for how long will get picked off very quickly here if he's not careful. But somehow stays alive, picking off not one, possibly a second very soon here. Rich picking off Nick to Nick. The Death Blossom does come out as well. Hestia finds theirs before they go down. Unfortunately, they're still in this. Coalescence coming out. Nick to Nick pops the Meteor Strike in addition to the other one from Soul. This mirror match, again, anybody's game. They are so close to taking it. And I am still in shock that they stole that right from under their noses. Unbelievable. And that was only map 1.
Wow, that was a great match. Back and forth the entire time, never knowing who was going to win. I thought Soul had it at first, then Elysium just came back and swept that map. It was something to watch.
And today's Play the Game brought to you by Hestia as Reaper. What do we got here? The Death Blossom is ready. Going to start shooting. That's a single, double, and into the triple here. Fantastic job. That is excellent coordination. Look at that.
triple kill.
That's what you really want to be seeing out of these higher ranking teams.
And it looks like we are back to the lobby here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break. Stay classy. We'll be right back. Okay, we're off. Well, whenever you're ready. I mean, we're ready.
Yeah. Just, yeah, small break.
Just give us a countdown.
Are you guys,
Welcome to
real quick, are you guys
Jakarta.
wanting me doing analysis like after the entire match or in between maps?
Initiating match.
Maybe a halftime one?
I mean, I would say just do it at the end because that way
Okay,
I can grab my
that's fine.
liquid hydration. Just give us a countdown when you're ready. Well, I mean, just let me know what you want to do. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're already ready. I mean,
Yeah.
just count us down.
forgot the fixed team names. Oh, there we go. Never mind.
Elysium versus Elysium.
Augers.
Welcome to Junkertown. Initiating
Alright.
match.
Can we confirm they switched sides? I don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did. Nick is still on the right.
Okay. All right, just let us know when you're ready, producer. Alrighty, and welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently in map 2 with a beautiful show of events. Elysium taking the first map. Essel, what do you think of these two teams?
They both seem fairly strong in any comp they've been running. We've seen more diversity from Soul than we have from Elysium, but in the end, that diversity did not pay off with Soul. You got to be wondering, are they going to be running that again, or do you think they're going to go back to their roots with this Orisa Sigma here?
I am already getting excited if I do see that Bastion and the Baptiste. Could we be seeing a bunker composition on top of that objective? What do you think, Essel?
I think maybe you see the Bastion on top of the objective here, but you also might see the Bastion playing a little bit away, maybe the Sigma on cart. Get that Bastion in a better position where he's not on the cart and he's not that vulnerable. Put him in a safer spot with that Baptiste, you know? Don't have anything open, but especially with that Widowmaker, we'll be seeing a lot of off angles, I think, here.
Now, I don't know about this, but if you're looking at it from Soul's perspective, they're about to pull off something sneaky, it looks like. I'm kind of curious what they're going to try and do. Okay, the wall does get out. Beautiful engage. Hestia going to be picking off Fridge, and another kill on behalf of Dad Ectoprez. And Bakugo responding, though. It looks like it was a fairly even trade, even though they have the advantage here. The wall does go up again. They hold the point here. Fantastic. But Bastion picking off a kill on Moira here, and that ruthless machine gun turret will be taking back the card very quickly here. The wall does go up a third time, but unfortunately does not do anything because the card pushes right through.
That Widowmaker just paid off so much there for Elysium. Those two headshots caused them to win that whole thing, I think. Caused the Maywall to be useless. Got pick for pick, really.
Now, I don't know how well they know how to play Widowmaker, but it's very easy to tell they've had a lot of practice because when it push comes to shove, plays like that are not very common. I have to say, excellent job for all involved. The infrared vision is already ready. It's only been a few seconds here. Does get popped. Tidal Alter picking up a res on the Bastion. Still going to be aggressively trying to keep them alive, and somehow, someway, the Coalescence does come out for Soul here. It looks like quite possibly the Bastion could stay alive. They got pushed to the first checkpoint here, and they've already got a couple ults online as well, but unfortunately Soul still lacking in the funds for ultimate department.
We might be seeing here a Bastion plus field here from Baptiste here. Or a Bongo and Bastion ult. Widowmaker.
Now, they are just a sneeze away from catching the first objective here. We've seen the configuration tank. Now, I have to ask you very quickly, have you also found, I personally think Bastion's ult is the only one in the game that feels like it needs a buff. Because I've actually done the math, and I believe, unless anything's changed, there's actually a greater DPS to be had in his base turret form than the actual ult itself.
Yeah, his ult can be a little bit weak at times. You have to put some other resources into it, like a Baptiste field, to make it really a strong ultimate. But even then, it can just, your other, being in turret form can just be better in every way.
And that being said, let's take a look at Soul here. He's going to try and get the top flank, but Nick picking off Bakugo. That Mei is extremely valuable for getting up and close with that Bastion. Unfortunately, it looks like the Bastion composition is working quite well. The Immortality Field combined with the Shield Drop from Orisa really keeping him alive, doing a great job of that coordination. And you can very easily tell that these teams have practiced down to a science, extremely efficient, well coordinated. I have yet to see a hiccup in either side's playstyle.
Hestia here is really doing a good job. He's going uncontested, which is something that you don't want from a Widowmaker. You got to contest her eventually, but she's getting those off angles, or Hestia, the Widowmaker's getting those off angles, and they're nailing those shots. That's what you need to see out of a Widowmaker.
Now, we're already at the second checkpoint. We've got a little less than 5 minutes to go here, but no ults on behalf of Elysium other than the infrared. Now they've got vision. But they will need to find something to do very quickly. We've got Death Blossom. We have the Power Booster and the Blizzard, which are devastating, used in tandem. I am excited to see what could happen here if they pop some ults around that corner unexpectedly.
Looks like we have 4 ultimates here from Soul. This could be big if they use them properly. Probably see maybe a Sigma ult here, or the Mei ult instead.
Blizzard does get popped here, as you said. The Bastion does get frozen. Does he go down? Yes, he does. Giving Soul some breathing room here. And unfortunately, it looks like Elysium not only getting a hold on the checkpoint. Excellent job here. They are going to retake the payload and hold. But 4 minutes is a long time in Overwatch time, if I'm doing it correctly. And it's going to be a while before Elysium is ready to push back.
This is a spawn camp too. But making sure Hestia doesn't have that space to get an off angle is huge with this spawn camp. They're going to try and force out some resources here from the other team. Or they're just going to back up and make sure they have the space. But I think what you see here is you see that Bastion use his ult here as fast as he can, then they're probably going to swap to a separate comp if it doesn't work, is my guess. Get off that Bastion so you have more space with another DPS hero.
Now, I would like to see that configuration tank used once again from the Bastion. But we are seeing it popped. Alright, we got the Pocket Pharmacy here, and we've got Beppis popping off. Bakugo and Beppis picking up kills respectively. Ballistica also picking off Hestia. Soul, again, excellent defense. It's really hard to really find any kind of flaw on either side here. We've got excellent defense, excellent offense, and it excites me to know that these teams have worked so hard to get where they are right here.
Elysium may be popping a bit too many ults there for what was invested into them. For that, just that take form, they popped about 3 ultimates, which could be huge coming up. Due to the swaps that are happening from Elysium here. You have 2 tank ultimates on the side of Elysium that could be used in combination to have some massive value.
And the payload has been taken again. We're seeing the wall and floor being dropped here. Sound barrier does go down. And it's a little crowded on the payload here right now. Nether Dragon picking off pick the Prez. And Nether Dragon very close to dying, but not quite yet. Mix picking off Bakugo and a double on behalf of Hestia. Ballistica. And it looks like Elysium picked up their game. And pretty efficiently. I mean, again, I can't say that either side is doing anything crazy explosive. They're just so well organized, it's so fluid. In emotions, it's like every play is a great play.
If you're Soul here, you want to use that mail as fast as you can. Get that out, swap to a different hero. But they get picked off, unfortunately.
And again, sneezing distance onto the point here. Elysium just needs to push it just a tad farther. Colossus is being popped here, both sides. High Noon has come out here. Nick picking up a double here, and just like that, a minute 47 to spare. They have taken the objective quite effectively.
That's a good time for Junkertown, I gotta admit. It's gonna be hard to pull up against, but you never know what Soul might have in their pocket here. Might have another Widowmaker, for all we know. Maybe Dive, although I doubt it.
Now, I would get excited about Dive, but my only problem with that on this map is that there are so many corners to take advantage and punish Dive, and I don't know if it's a great idea that they pick it. But nonetheless, I've seen excellent dive comps also work on this map. It is all about how you play it and where you play it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're currently on map 2. We are seeing Soul getting ready to attack here. Essel, what do you make of that team? Soul, what do you make of Elysium?
Soul looks pretty strong here. They look a little weaker on that Orisa Sigma than I would like to see from them comparatively to Elysium here. Maybe if them, you don't run it. You run something different. You try and be a little bit more... You try and be more proactive against them, right? You know you're losing their game, don't play their game, right? You want to be playing a different game. Make the enemy team play your game, and then the game that you're better at, obviously, so you want to win that. So maybe you swap up the comps a bit. Maybe you don't run what they are expecting you to run. Get them off their feet, you know? Try and make them jittery.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did say Soul had a little bit more variety with who they're playing, because right now we see the Ana, we've seen the Hanzo for the first time. I'm pretty excited, because, again, excellent picks here, but okay, we're seeing a swap into the Mercy. What do you think?
I'm excited for this positioning from Elysium here. This looks fun. But this swaps could be huge from Soul here. Maybe get those off angles, even a Pharah.
We're seeing some shields being deployed here on the top. Very interesting choice here, as they can essentially rain down from above, but the payload is getting away here. Ballistica picking off first blood here on Ray. And pick for Prez, picking off Hestia. Nether Dragon picking off Bakugo. Beppis instead of a something himself. Rez coming up on the Bastion, and it looks like they're stuck in the mud here for their push. not for long. They're going to keep on going. I don't know if that hold was as efficient as I would have liked.
As Elysium there, I think you want to take someone who can contest the payload. They had a lot of people who could sit up there and help them get up there. They needed the Mei. But maybe someone to drop down contest the payload. Maybe you'd get a Diva instead of a Sigma there just to have that payload contest. Because what really screwed them over there is someone had to contest that payload. And that caused them to be split and then lose.
And speaking of splitting, it looks like we are seeing a pharmacy come off on the side here, trying to get some damage off to the side, but we're also seeing Mercy on the other team going to be pocketing Hestia, who has already proven that they're quite dangerous in the hands of a sniper rifle. And Nick to Nick picking off Bephis here. Elysium having a little harder of a time defending. I am noticing that, but nonetheless, they are still being quite aggressive in the way they're attacking.
Hestia really didn't get any pressure there. If you're the Pharah there, I say you have to pressure that Widowmaker. You got those close angles and you know you can win that battle, but Hestia going uncontested is not something you want, judging from last round and his performance.
And it's funny how I said that they're having trouble defending him, but as a matter of fact, they stopped them from getting the payload long enough that it's actually pushing back. So now it's going to be very difficult to unseal that composition they have defending. Especially all that cover will make it extremely easy to dodge skill shots and whatnot.
Hestia also has a shield there from Sigma, which is very important. Helps him win that Widow v Widow that could decide the fate of every single fight. Looking at the ultimates here, we have some pretty
Nick
even
to
ults.
Nick. Really proving that Reaper is just getting so much value. You've got almost every ultimate ready on behalf of Elysium, but Soul also has 5 ults just about ready to go. So this, again, their ult economy is fantastic. Their engagement's excellent. I really, again, am just so appreciative that both of these teams are just displaying everything in their toolset to really put on a great game.
Yeah, you're gonna see 2 picks here, but one of them not get res and gonna put Elysium in the lead. Lots of ultimates gonna be fun this map, this fight.
And both Valkyries do get popped. We're seeing a lot of mirror match in the pops here, and it's, I have to say, that is a bit funny, but it's almost as if both teams are on the same wavelength, almost as if all 12 of them are thinking the exact same thing half the time. But Ballistica picking up kills here. Hestia picking up the kill on Fridge. The Bastion still alive, manages to retake the payload, and finally will be getting their first checkpoint with only 40 seconds to spare.
As Elysium there, you can't have that Bastion set up. As soon as that Bastion sets up, you basically lose. He sets up and he gets shredded into your comp. It's going to cause some massive damage for you, and you can't do much about it once he's set up fully.
I'm actually mildly surprised if we haven't seen a Sombra here. Sombra would essentially make it setting up Bastion impossible, so he wouldn't be able to sit down into his turret form.
The only problem with Sombra here is there's a lot of off angles that are going to be happening due to Sigma, and even his stun is a huge deterrent for Sombra.
And more kills coming in on behalf of Elysium. Bakugo picking off Hestia and Bephis, taking care of a few things of his own. Pig for Prez picking off Nick to Nick. It is overall a stunning show of force to see both teams just push each other back and forth so fluidly. It is almost as if neither team wants to surrender to the other.
Elysium here is staggering pretty bad, and they're investing a lot of ultimates, more than I'd like them to see anyways. That Orisa Bongo is pretty huge, but against a fight that they've basically already lost.
Now we do have 2 minutes on the clock here, and I'm wondering, can this be stalled long enough? Can they take it from right under there without going to overtime? Because they are now down to 1:50, and they've taken back the payload. Elysium holding, but for how long?
That's an impressive hold from Elysium there. Honestly, I was not expecting that hold, especially with the late ultimate investments in staggers. But in the end, the staggers helped them get their teammates back faster. They stalled for long enough.
And we're seeing the immortality field come up, and they're going to try and fight to the side here. That Bastion was in a really bad spot here. Death Blossom does get popped, picks up a double kill. Nick to Nick consistently proving that even without his ultimate, and with it also, phenomenal value out of every team fight and every engagement. Excellent duelist. I will say that by my standards at least, I am seeing lots and lots of crazy plays. They are looking to flank, and even flanking, Elysium knows that they're up to the challenge.
Soul is going on a lot of
No
different
one can
offangles.
hide
The
from
Bastion's always
my
separate from the
sight.
tanks, which is what you don't want to see from a Bastion. You want that shield to be with him 24/7. Be a little babysitter for him.
Okay, the power booster getting dropped again. They're gonna try and push in here, and they've taken back the payload more or less, but now they're around the corner waiting to engage. Fridge getting the res up on Bakugo. Nick picking up pick for Prez. It isn't necessarily a lost fight yet, but they didn't get rid of that Widowmaker. It could be dangerous. We're seeing lots of tracer shots, and really, again, have yet to be contested. We're seeing the McCree here right at the hit scan, also giving people a run for the money, but will go down. Unfortunately, the power booster's still up for Elysium. They're going to force them into the corner again. They've only got 10 seconds, and they have no ultimates. They have to pull something out of their hat right now, or that is it. Elysium does take map 2.
I'd like to see that bomb used a little bit later. It was a little too early for me. Not really forcing any ultimates or any value out. So it might cost them in the long run here to do that. Maybe their ultimates won't be enough this time.
And with the overtime timer coming up, it is, again, very strange to me that even with no ultimates, they are having trouble. Elysium having trouble pushing them back. Overtime has been activated. And somehow, some way, they've taken back the objective. It is very odd to me in terms of Overwatch that even with the advantage, quote unquote, they are still able to take the objective back from Elysium.
Elysium's wishing they did not use that bongo that early. But I can tell you that if they had that bongo, I think that fight would have gone much more differently and more into the favor of Elysium here.
Absolutely, I would agree, and they've taken their next checkpoint here. They will get another minute 30 here to play around with. But again, they are still, even if they do get all the way to the end, they are under a time constraint that Elysium is not. So they will need to play very well here. We're going to see that Elysium coming up the middle here. They're going to try and contest. Bev is already picking off Nether Dragon. The res does come out a little early, and unfortunately will get denied here. Let's go picking off somebody. And again, it seems that this team performs extremely well under stress. They actually, I would argue, play even better when they're being stressed out.
Yeah, that time constraint has done nothing but help them here. And we're going to see some ultimates from each side here. It looks like Soul is almost up on 6 ultimates versus Elysium's 3 maybe at the very best. This could be a huge fight from Soul here if they conserve their ultimates. They might not even need to. This might be last fight for Elysium and Soul.
Now, we are seeing that they're even having trouble grouping a little bit here. Elysium probably not performing as well under pressure as they'd like to, but that is okay. Still anyone's game. The Valkyrie has been popped, and the Matrix here also being dropped. The Immortality Field does go down, but somehow I am seeing that Soul very slowly pushing up the payload here still, very gently. It looks like they've been able to outperform Elysium in defense here. They're going to push it all the way to the end, and just barely. They will be given 1 minute.
Yeah, those 6 ultimates from Soul was insane. There's no real way of countering that unless extremely badly, and that's what you need at that point. You need those 6 ultimates to get a clean wipe, make sure that there's no contest and that there's no ultimates coming out from the other side. Very well played from Soul there.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're currently on map 2. We are in overtime. Now we've got a minute for Soul, and we've got 2 minutes, 43 seconds on behalf of Elysium. Now, time is the only factor here now, in theory, because both teams, they're very even. They're very close to each other in skill level. It is almost as if you were to tell me either team is going to win, I couldn't tell you if I'd believe you, simply because the other team would play so well. It makes it difficult to determine a winner.
Yeah, here we might see some weird comp picks, or we might see something safe here, because maybe you're thinking, we got to go for some wacky stuff here. We got to pull something out of the gutter here, see if it works, see if we can get as far as we can. Or maybe you're thinking, hey, this has been working for us. We should stick this, right? It worked last time. It's going to work this time. Let's go out there and grind it. But looks like we're going to see basically the same stuff from either team. Instead of opting out here, I think Elysium here is going to play for a closer push like they did not last time. Might pay off against the Bastion pick coming out from Soul here.
3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, and we're right back into it. Soul will be attacking again back to back. They've only got that minute, so they have to make it count. The Bastion off to the side here, actually waiting for an engage on behalf of Elysium, but it seems that they're hiding for some reason in the corner here. They're kind of just waiting for something to happen here. They've been scouted, I imagine, at some level, but they're still waiting. This quite odd, if I do say so
I
myself.
think they know where they are at this point or have a general idea. They're just trying to hide and make sure they can get a setup as they engage like they are right now.
And apparently it worked. Elysium has successfully swept them. That is a strategy, I will say, that is odd, but it worked. And I'm very impressed because, again, these teams, even though they've been playing very well, they've also not been afraid to employ unorthodox strategy.
If you're Soul there, I think you should have read that and you should have had the setup before it was coming. You know what was coming. You had the 15 seconds to know what their comp was. I think you should know what that is. And it's a big mistake, I think, on Soul that's going to cost them this dearly.
And overtime has been activated, but Bakugo still buying their team more time. They will pick off somebody here, but is it enough? They just need to keep them off the point a little bit longer, but Bakugo Ballistic are picking up some more kills here. Beppis picking up a kill as well. It's possible they could even get the first checkpoint because I guess their play backfired a little bit here. They were too grouped up and got picked off in tandem with those shotguns from Reaper.
However, we're seeing a Wrecking Ball out of the Team Soul, which I don't know how that merges into this comp, to be honest. You can't play aggressive if you're sitting still on the payload with a Bastion.
The payload.
The ultimates from either side right now. Maybe next fight we see some build up in between the fight, or maybe we see some aggressive pushing from Elysium, trying to take out that Bastion as fast as possible.
Now, we do see Elysium taking the high ground here, but I don't know if that's a great idea, only because they've got Bastion just ready to set up again in the back. He isn't even going to get on the payload this time. He's going to force them to come closer, but unfortunately, because of the angles that they're playing at, it's so much harder. Even Moira, aiming that closest directly at him, having trouble actually doing any damage to him. Pick for press. He's picking off Hestia. And still, again, mind you, they have no time banked left, and they are still pushing it very quickly here. They are giving Elysium a run for their money. Again, fantastic plays overall, just well coordinated. Nigga, 2K. Picking off another two people here with his ult, and picking up another. Doomfist getting lots of value here. I will say it is justified in their use, but they have to be careful. They cannot afford to make any more mistakes here. Even with the time they have banked, Soul can easily take this back and win it as long as they keep playing as they are.
That Wrecking Ball stall might be enough for Soul to come back and potentially win this, especially with the ultimates they have.
That does get popped. Kaito Alter picking off Bakugo. Onyx picking off Bridge. And it looks like they're finally getting somewhere with their ultimates, but that Hammond ult also getting just a little bit of value, forcing them to play a little safer. But the timer still has not run out, simply because Moira still on the point here. Reinhardt actually comes out into the fray here very first time. This happen here with Onyx. Coalescence back to Walter again, picking off another person. They are still team fighting on this with no time left whatsoever. They are still fighting this. It is ridiculous. Soul really does not want to give it up, but eventually, round 3 is finished. And Soul has pushed it a very good distance for the time they had.
Score.
I think later on you're going to see Elysium struggle with that type of contest against a better team. I think that's really, or a team that's better, and maybe not in this tournament, maybe in another one. You're going to see them struggle against that. They really need to learn to finish off that Hammond. That Hammond stalled for way too long and was able to get his teammates back, almost all 6 of them before he died. And that could be huge in another game. That might cost them the match in the fight by itself.
Targeting priority. It is definitely something that you learn by doing. Even after thousands and thousands of competitive matches, sometimes you may get tunnel vision, and that's human. We're all human. And I will say that maybe they thought in the back of their head, we'll worry about the Hammond after we pick off this person, but that never came, and the Hammond got to extend for a very long time. Lots and lots of time it was given in consideration.
Looks like we're going to be seeing a Bastion Widowmaker from Elysium here, which we've seen, and it worked last time. May and Hanzo out from Soul. This might be the wacky comp I was talking about before that they got to pull out, see if it works.
All right, we've got 8 seconds to go here, and we are seeing a Hanzo from Soul again. Hopefully they commit to that again. And we've got a Bastion coming out with another bunker composition,
Stop the
possibly. Okay,
payload.
we're seeing they swap into the Reaper from
What you're
the.
gonna see here, I think, from Soul here is they're gonna try and wall up that Bastion so the Immortality Field cannot reach him, and then you're gonna see some Storm Arrow come in and try and kill that Bastion.
Now, that's an interesting proposition, but is it going to work? It looks like they got rid of the Bastion from on top of the payload. Has to jump off. They actually will take it back. Okay. And we're seeing them push them into the building here. Nothing too crazy just yet, but it is going to start getting a little hotter in the kitchen.
That Immortality Field is getting massive value right now.
I would agree with you. Nick 2K can be picking out pick for Prez, and even though they have more time banked, they're definitely wasting a lot of time doing what they're doing here. They're actually not trying to kill them inherently. They're actually just trying to stall them, it looks like. They're not being too aggressive here. They are starting to sweep up some kills, but not before offsetting these spawns. Obviously, offsetting spawns is going to make it even harder for them to group with a team kill on behalf of Soul. Great job.
Yeah, I think Elysium should have had that. That Immortality really should have made him come back, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough.
Now they're back on the payload, and Soul gonna go ahead and I guess they're gonna try and do the flanking scenario again from the corner. Probably give them the old 1-2. We'll see. Actually, they're waiting for them to cross the corner. It's really interesting how both teams kind of figured that a sneak attack would be effective. And the Blizzard does go down, in addition to the Sigma ult here. And Juan, Pepper's picking up kills. Bonkago picking up a kill. But Nether Dragon firing back with a double Ballistica, picking up a kill as well. And again, just like that, they've eaten up just enough time to get them down to the 68 seconds. They've already eaten a minute and a half. The Dragon Strike does come out.
That's a bad bongo there from Elysium, I think. That's got no value, and you're not going to have it for next fight, which might be potentially the last fight you have.
Now, again, very interesting. We are noticing that I believe Elysium just cannot perform as well under stress as Soul. We are seeing very clearly that they have planned for this time and time again. Elysium struggling to find any sort of angles on any of them. They're going to come in through here. But it's a choke, and with a choke comes lots of consequences if they get fired inside of it.
Oh, looks like Soul's going to go for a flank maneuver here. They gave up the cart, however. That could be huge.
If they do manage to sneak it by, it looks like they will. Again, Elysium, just when the cards are down, they've already found another way to the checkpoint, and they will get no more time. But they're going to try their hardest to stay on that cart, and they are doing it successfully. Unbelievable. If I were watching another game, would not believe it would be happening like this.
Soul there made a massive mistake, I think. They gave up the choke point for free and opted instead to go around on a flank. However, that flank gave up the cart space and gave up the choke point, just putting them in a worse position.
Now, if we can get that Meteor Strike down in this next team fight, it probably will win them. And just like that,
That's a
they don't even need
C9.
to. I'm sure right now Soul is hitting themselves in the back because that was a definite misplay on their behalf.
Yeah, two massive misplays there just cost them the whole game. It's what Overwatch is just all about, those small misplays that can change the entire game.
And again, Nick 2K picking up a play of the game. We'll be picking up some kills with the shotguns in typical cowboy fashion. Well done. And stay tuned here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break here, but we will be back with map 3 and Elysium taking a 2-0 lead. We'll be right back.
Yeah, 4-3. Yeah, Elysium won that. Yeah, Elysium. That was a big C9.
That was actually
I have to say, that was
horrible C9.
They must.
Rotating through. That's a rotation that just got no value. So all you're left with is the negatives about rotation,
Yeah.
no positive. Soul's going for a lot more like riskier plays, but a lot of the time they're not getting much value, which is can cause a lot of problems. Like they're a solid team. They were doing solid until they decided to go for
And honestly, Hestia is outperforming Beppis kind of just across the board.
and insane with his shots.
Traveling
I-
to Volskaya Industries.
Give us a countdown.
Initiating match.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in map 3. I'm joined here again by Essel. We've had the pleasure of casting this wonderful game that has been extremely close to the point of I could not tell you who will actually be winning tonight. Essel, do you have any predictions for Volskaya tonight?
We may see a reverse sweep here from Soul. However, that massive C9, the mental effect that that can have against a team is huge. You need to see how they recover from that.
Ready
That's
for
a
battle.
that's a big thing right there.
So, speaking of which, tilting is definitely a real issue, even at the highest levels of play, which is what we're seeing here. And that's okay. Again, we have to remind everyone that they're human, that people make mistakes. We saw something so minute affect the outcome of that map, and they were playing so well. Nobody can deny that. But staying positive and keeping determined in the face of adversity, that is what this game is all about.
Looks like we have Hestia on the Widowmaker here on offense, which isn't something you usually see on Volskaya. They're gonna have to try and give him the space, and if you're Soul here, you're gonna have to prevent that Widow from getting any space. Maybe an aggressive push, just to make sure that Widow can't get that space.
Alright, and we are seeing Elysium going to be attacking this time. And they're not crazy with what they're doing. They're just going to try and go for a straight push onto the point. He's going to have a little friction here. Hestia, pick the Brez, exchange blows. It will be 5-5 now. Hestia still will actually get taken down this time. The Reaper here, Nick to Nick, will be playing.
That's a little bit too aggressive from what I'd like to see out of Elysium. I'd like to see a slower play with that Widowmaker, trying to make sure she can get that off angle, is all set up, and then getting those picks with Widow, then pushing in. They pushed in a little too early, in my opinion, therefore causing that Orisa to get picked before the Widowmaker could get any value, and causing the health pool of Elysium to drain faster than Souls could.
I think what we're seeing here now is just a tad of complacency. I think they're underestimating their opponents now. They definitely pushed in a little haphazardly, which, again, unlike them. So we're going to have to see. Again, it looks like they're going to try and do it again, maybe? No, they're going to try and go around the side this time. They're going to try and force a team fight onto the point, I imagine. But Soul, give them a run for the money again. They're going to punish. Try and chase them. Give them a little bit more to work with here. The Coalescence does go out. Nick to neck, picking off Beppis. Picking up a double kill. It looks like the team here not having too much of a hard time getting onto the point. It is staying on the point. I think both teams struggle with here. Because now we're seeing the Coalescence kill coming up on behalf of Reaper. And Moira's swapping orbs, but again, very carefully do Elysium finally take the point. Push them off and force Soul to give up the point, even though they're trapped in a corner more or less. They really can't do anything. They're going to try and connect on that last capture point. Meteor Strike does go out. It comes right back down and does not pick up anything, but we are seeing Elysium pick up more kills, and they're going to move to point 2.
There's 4 ultimates on the side of Elysium here versus 1 or 2 from Soul. This could be huge. And if you're a Soul's playing well. It's just those small mistakes and those small target focus error moments that are causing that.
Now again, I cannot stress this enough. Soul, again, another excellent team. But these little mistakes really do build up after a while, and you're starting to notice that Elysium, they are just playing their best, and they are doing a very, very strong show, of course. And again, as a team has been for both teams here, they are really just putting their best foot forward. And just like that, 4 minutes, 8 seconds on the clock, Elysium does take round 1.
I think you definitely see an effect there from
Score
He's definitely seen effect from the C9 there on Soul.
Switching
I
sides.
think they would play better than that usually, but I think that had a mental effect on probably just
Initiating
solo players. They're
match.
getting angry at themselves, maybe. Thinking maybe I need to be play better. I need to play more solo. I need to be trying to pop off. But instead, it's that team play that's really holding them back. If they got that target focus in, they would be nailing them down. There's issues with that, and then some rotational issues that we're seeing, but overall, it's a small one man mistake, one or two person mistake of not focusing a target. It's not anyone in particular either. But if we have everyone on the same target, Soul might be able to come back and win this.
And that being said, I would 100% agree with you. My only argument in their
Ready
favor
for
is that
battle.
even if they were tilted, I can guarantee you now they're going to feel even more invigorated this next time around. If it's as easy for them to take this point, they're back to their groove already. And I really want to see them push, and I really want to see them
Attackers
succeed too. I want to
incoming
see
in 30
this
seconds.
really develop into a wonderful game on all of the maps. We've seen great first two maps, but Seoul
Yeah.
really needs to fire back now where they have the opportunity. I like the team comp they're running here. I'm getting excited. I love Brigitte. She's my favorite. And say what you will about her, but I love her story and I love her kit. And I remember when they swapped off her, and it was a sad day for Brigitte mains everywhere.
5.
But that
The
is
three
okay.
of them.
All three of them, including me. But
One.
we do see an Ash
Attackers
also for the first time,
incoming.
and I do
Defend
love Bob. I
objective
will tell you,
A.
Bob is an excellent
Get
ultimate
in
in
the
my opinion.
saddle
He's
and
got
let's
lots
go.
and lots of different little strategies you can do with Bob, especially because he is considered a teammate, so he can contest and he can be mana boosted, etc.
With Ash here, you probably will see her playing a different off angle, maybe using Bob as a point contest if need comes down to it. That Dynamite too can be a massive engage deterrent. When the enemy team's engaged, you get that fire on them, they can't really engage for another few seconds.
And I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't tell you how much dynamite does, but it is very frustrating that damage over time. I am not prone to team fighting when I am taking damage from that on top of chip damage.
Yeah. It's about 175 damage in total, which can be insane for a team trying to push in. That's 175 damage your healers have to heal up. But only death deterrent with using Dynamite is you give so much ultimate charge to the enemy team's healer.
Now, I am kind of curious to see if they can hold it at this point, but look at how they're pushing. They are not taking no for an answer. They're already on the point again, and very slowly, they're already getting percentage off. They're going to pop the Coalescence Bonko, picking off Ray. Nick, once again. DK will be off. Kaido with the Coalescence kill, and again, look at this. Elysium, solid hold. They're really not struggling at all to fight. It's just really pinpointing who to take down first.
I think what we need to see from the side of Soul here is I think we need to see Bakugo take a more defensive stand as Doomfist. Their Doomfist has been going into their backline and frontline and destroying it. Meanwhile, but if we see Bakugo in that situation, maybe he could stun him out, keep him away from that backline. Make sure he can't get as much value.
Now we do have 2 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock here. Going to try and re-engage. You do see the Lucio, right? They're going to try and go possibly up in the corner, but Ben was going to try and flank here. We're going to see what he's up to. He does not have his ultimate ready yet, so he's forced to use his shotgun. Valkyrie does get popped on behalf of Elysium. Ash has Bob ready, so if they do want to contest the point, it's not going to be a difficult one. He's going to go ahead and slam right into the wall here. He'll try and get a kill. Actually does on the bridge. He outputs a surprising amount of damage for an Overwatch hero. He is just an ultimate, and he dashes out of the frame once more. But Soul, again, still on the point here. They are still in this. We are seeing Hestia pick off a trap here. And I'm actually surprised we're not seeing a Junkrat at all, because I actually would argue that maybe Junkrat might be a decent pick for that splash damage. But again, I've not really seen these teams stray too far from their comps.
So what they did amazing that fight, and what Elysium did poorly, Elysium did not prevent them from getting into their map space during their engage. If they shot them and had that dynamite during that engage, it would have gone differently. But Soul got in there with no damage on themselves and was able to kill them all.
Now we do see yet another Coalescence coming out. Okay, it does go down. Death Blossom coming out. Then they double for Hestia. See, I would like to say that Nick 2K and Hestia are both excellent Reapers. It really doesn't look like either one has any trouble picking up kills for Reaper. We're seeing both of them pull off Death Blossoms and kills respectively very well. And they have a solid hold. They already have more time banked on behalf of their respective team. Soul really just struggling now to try and bank as much time as possible. And even force another overtime.
That was a weird ultimate investment from Soul there. I don't know quite what was doing. Maybe that's a side effect of the mental state that we were talking about. That ultimate had no value to it and was very much a solo ultimate from both sides. He was using it by himself on someone. It's not what you want to see from a team game.
And speaking of which, we're seeing Elysium. They are very comfortable defending their spot right here, but we are seeing Arisa probably asking for a regroup here. We've got 4 people. We got the other 2 coming up in the back. Now they're going to try and go down the middle, I imagine, or to the left, possibly. We're seeing Bakugo engage. With that Doomfist, Meteor Strike has been activated. Power Booster also ready to go. Will slap down. Does not get any real value, but Death Blossom does get denied. Nether Dragon, getting off Betis here. The kills are coming in very slowly. They go on a trap, and then on the bridge, right, the power booster has been destroyed. Actually, they're pushing out very far here. They could very easily get punished to get back forward, but not, because I imagine at some level they have accounted for who's actually in the back here. Reaper gonna go ahead and teleport.
Soul
Try and get around.
What I think Soul should be doing here is they use that bongo. They use the Doomfist as a engage rather than using the bongo to bait out resources and then use it as a mid-fight tool. They used it as an engage tool with the bongo in an attempt to get more damage out of it. However, they had the resources to get away from it, and it caused almost no damage without no value.
Now we do see Reaper come down here. Baptist gonna try and find something, but he doesn't have the ultimate yet, so can only do so much. The point is still being contested. 1:30 to go. And Elysium, again, not actually having too much trouble. It's just, a tick here and there, but they're going to come right back onto the point here. They've already got one slice of that fixed rate pond right before. The Meteor Strike does go down once again. No value, which is okay. They are still in this. Prez does pick up Nether Dragon. And I have to say, I don't think I've seen more than 1 or 2 kills come out from Meteor Strikes this game. They aren't really getting any value out of it. Ironically, though, Soul picking off people very quickly here.
Soul has the ultimates too to make sure there's no proper recontest.
And it looks like finally they're going to be on the board here, but barely. Again, it is strange how we're seeing that they just perform so much better. As that time ticks down, they play better. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I'm noticing that just as they're out of time, it's somehow they unlock some hidden ability that they have.
The amount of time is inversely proportional to their skill level, as my teachers would say. But I don't know what you're expecting here out of Soul. That you have a minute to cap maybe 1 point, and then you have to hold that point for 4 minutes. That's a long time, and especially with how explosive Elysium was last time.
Now, I mean, I would call this a disadvantage for having a minute to 4 minutes 25, but technically, if we're going with what they already have, they could be playing so much better with that time constraint, and I don't know what it is about them that makes them do that, but it is fantastic.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Soul play better under that overtime pressure, and just time pressure in general seems to make them play better in every way. It's something that you don't expect from a team, but they've seemed to mastered it.
And with 20 seconds on the clock, as I do love to say, good luck, have fun, and let's get right into it here. A Symmetra. I'm getting excited already.
Just like we're talking about in good old Oasis. Let's see if they'll my guess here is they're gonna try and teleport to the middle, try and get that advantage of high ground, maybe force the point. It could be a very big thing here. Definitely under this time constraint, it can give you that explosive need that you gotta get to
Now,
at that point.
Really quickly, can you use that teleporter off to the left? I don't think I've ever tried. I don't think it reaches far enough that you can't get the right angle on it. I'm not sure.
I believe it does, however, it would take a lot of time, and it wouldn't get you as much value as you can get from just teleporting to that top left platform.
Valid point here. They're already on the top corner here. They've already set up Bastion. They're going to try and force them to fight in here, but because they really don't have a reason to. They're just going to fight outside. And now we're seeing that they're on the other side now. They're going to fight them on this side. And Bastion actually going to keep setting it up back and forth, giving them a run for the money. He's actually forcing them to fight where he isn't, which
I don't
I
know if
think
we
is a
see a contest
fantastic
here.
idea. They only have 3 seconds, though. They have to get on the point.
Oh, could it be another C? Oh, okay, not another C9.
I got very scared there for a second because if they would not have gotten on point, it would have felt very bad for them.
Soul played that actually extremely well with that Bastion teleporting back and forth. That's what you want to see out of Soul, really. That teleportation with that Bastion caused him to get immense value comparatively if he was just standing still. What's better than
Say
a
what
Bastion?
you will about these teams, but that was extremely impressive. You are forcing them to play around what you want to do, not what they are trying to impose on you. And again, they're playing so well. They have 20 seconds. I would not be surprised if they could also take the second one themselves. Definitely, they have it in them. I see it already.
I think Elysium's gonna play here to just kill whoever contests that point. You gotta just focus them as soon as that time restraint is down, but as we know, Soul, the lower the time, the better they are.
And the Coalescence does try and target someone here. Hestia picking up a kill. Alrighty, another kill coming out that may be able to hold this just barely here. The res does come out into the tank configuration. It does get shut down. It looks like they've actually got it under control now. They will be taking with a team kill, mind you. They will be taking round 3 with just 1 point.
I'd like to see more value out of that Sim ultimate there. They just... Elysium played against it very well, first of all. They pushed right through it, which is the exact move that you want to do. They saw as soon as they set up, they saw that as their opportunity to push, and they took it, which was great from them. Coming against a small corner, it's exactly what you want to do against a Bastion in that situation. They tried at first point, but didn't do it so well, but they got it that time with ease.
Okay, and welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. We have 7 seconds on the clock. Currently in overtime. It is now, if memory serves, it is Elysium's turn to attack with 4 minutes, 25 seconds. All they have to do is capture 1 tick of the second objective, and they win this map. It will be a 3-0 if they do that. If not, it will be a 1-2 for a well-deserved playthrough on Soul's behalf.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
Maybe we see a reverse sweep. You never know. We never know how mental Elysium could be. Are they a very emotional team? Or are they a very strong team when it comes to that? If they're emotional and they lose one map, maybe that thought's digging in the back of their head like, reverse sweep, it could happen, it could happen, it could happen. And it digs into them and takes them out. But let's hope that doesn't happen on their part. Or maybe we want to see a map 5 and we do hope it happens.
3, 2,
Well, whatever the case, I would like to see these guys play their heart out like they've been doing so far. It is just so humbling to see these teams play so well and to really challenge us all to play just a little bit better.
Two picks here from Soul. It's pretty big. Gonna prevent them from getting an attack. Getting them down to about 4 minutes right now. They're pushing aggro, trying to get these picks here. But they managed to survive it. Estia gonna try and go for a flank here, maybe. Get some value. We've seen him when he goes uncontested, he kind of just pops off. But they've now put Bakugo on the job of dealing with Estia. Maybe he has to play with the team a little bit more, but with double shield, you can't get that much value out of that.
It is interesting to see that they're really going for the forward approach here, I guess because they have the time. But I question whether they would save time just by flanking. They really don't have to. They have the luxury of time, which I guess is, spend it how you will, but they could possibly force them to fight unfavorably. See, they got them in a room here. I don't know how good of an idea that is, even though you get the AoE healing with Moira. I need to see what they're going to do for their team fighting.
Elysium played that actually very well. The Widowmaker being on the other side, getting value, and as soon as they put resources into getting that Widowmaker, they pushed onto the team knowing that the resources were split and that they could not deal with the full force of a 5-man engage. They pushed in and they took the point effectively.
And again, I can't say that I'm surprised on either side. Anytime they pull something off like that, they've just been working so hard, both of them. they could honestly take that second point, and I would still say, Soul playing their heart out. They are still doing well.
No one can hide from my sight.
That's a Widowmaker ult. I don't quite know what they're doing with that. They're not going to be engaging, so maybe they're trying to see if they're engaging or not on that, but it's a weird ult that maybe I'd like to see how to use at a different time. More value. Maybe when they're engaging, know if there's anyone on the flanks, know where the enemy Widow is.
And we are seeing 2 minutes, 39 seconds on the clock still.
Cease your resistance.
They just, I mean, at this point, they've guaranteed a draw for this map. So I wonder if that's going to apply into their play style here. They may play a little bit more aggressively still, but we're seeing at the contesting of the point. Okay, we're seeing a 4-1 contest already. A 5-1. Meteor Strike does come down. It doesn't pick up anything. About to go. We're picking up the other Doomfist here. Next 2K. We're seeing a Powerbomb build come down.
It's a good beat coming out from Soul. Maybe that's enough to stop them from pushing through. And a signal. This could go back in the favor of Soul, and it looks like it just may.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly, indeed. They are still eating up time on behalf of Elysium, and Soul been able to successfully hold a minute 45, and time is no longer on their side. They will need to plan something out and save up their ultimates. We're seeing a Tracer come in, interestingly enough. I don't know how much value... Okay, we're seeing a swap into the Reaper. Going to be erasing that ult charge. They cannot afford to switch out anymore because now what they have is what they have. Ult charge wise, we've got the Coalescence coming up in the next team fight, in addition to the Sound Barrier. Sigma, and ready to go.
You're gonna see that. Looks like it's gonna be a beat engage and a Coalescence. That's a lot of health that you have to push through. And looks like they're up 4. They might take this with a clean team kill.
Yeah, that's a team kill, if I ever did see one. And again, Elysium just playing how they've been playing it. It is nothing on Soul. They are doing fantastic in themselves. It's just those very minute actions can snowball.
Play of the game.
Yeah, that's you hate to see that coming out of Soul. They look like a good team, but they're struggling right now, and you can feel it. Maybe it was that C9 that affected them. They didn't seem as strong this map as they did in the other ones. You gotta wonder, is that what it is? Or is it something else that we can't see going on?
Alrighty here, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here, but stay classy. Again, we will be right back.
Traveling to Eichenwald. Initiating match.
Resources into the Widowmaker they pushed in.
That is okay. Just give us a countdown when you're ready. And welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in map 4, the final one, and it's Eichenwald, one of my personal favorites. I'm joined here by Essel, dear friend and color caster. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. This is a good match. Unfortunately, we know which favor it's going into, but we got to do this for the map score and seeding. So maybe this could put Soul above another team in the final seedings. This one map could matter a whole lot. It's a difference of 2, not just 1. So it could be huge.
And with that being said, we've got 30 seconds. Do we see anything out of... Okay, we're seeing a Junkrat. I really hope we see that committed. We may already. Okay, so we do have the Junkrat. Already, great splash damage. I have to say, he's not my favorite hero, but I do enjoy a good Junkrat player.
With this Junkrat, what you're probably going to be seeing, especially with this Widowmaker, is Maybe on the in-gauges, they're going to be getting a lot of spam damage, and maybe get a Junkrat shot and a Widow shot on someone,
5,
killing them
4,
almost instantly.
3, 2,
Or you get the Widowmaker for the
1.
Pharah, Junkrat for the
Attackers
front line,
incoming.
and see how it fares.
Defend objective A.
Alrighty, and we're off to the races here. We've got a pharmacy set up here, a Hanzo. I have to say that it is kind of weird seeing Sigma as a tank. You know, he just and
Seems
we're
we have
seeing
a
a
pause. Maybe
but
a
as I was
DC?
saying, Sigma, I understand he is a tank, but he's still kind of like relatively new, right? So he really is okay. We are seeing some DCs here.
A
That's not
DC
good.
of 2. That's...
That is not good. But don't worry, that gives us an opportunity for me to ask you one of my famous Overwatch questions. So, Essel,
Mhm.
if Mercy were an ice cream flavor, what kind of ice cream flavor would she be?
Vanilla.
I would say strawberry with peaches or something.
I'm just going to say vanilla. She's a basic hero, I'd say. So, vanilla.
Fair enough. What about Reaper? What would Reaper as an ice cream flavor embody?
Blackberry, I'd say. Just a dark.
Hmm, I'd say
Eh,
black licorice, and I hate black
yeah,
licorice.
black licorice. That's another thing, definitely. Definitely something with black in the name.
Okay, and let's see. What else do we have here? What about Orisa? What would a robot taste like ice cream wise? What do you think she would be in ice cream flavor?
I don't know. She's a very bland hero to play, or so I hear from all my main tank friends. So,
Would
I
she
gotta
be
think of
water flavored? Water flavored ice cream?
yeah, or just regular, just
When
ice
I
cream, no flavor.
see her colors though, I think of like gummies. So I'm thinking like maybe something
Mm,
a little like sour gummy worm ice cream. I don't know how good that would taste though.
mm. You know what? The
Uh,
green. You know what it's getting me? Pistachios.
Pistachio ice cream. All right, fair enough. What about who else? Who else? What about what would Junkrat taste like, ice cream wise?
I feel like Junkrat would just be a firecracker in your ice cream.
You
Just
know, I definitely would believe that. I understand it's not a real thing here, but I think chili beans when I think Junkrat. So maybe like chili bean ice cream. I don't know if that's
mm.
a real
You
thing.
bite in and get some beans while in your ice cream, nice and warm beans with some nice and cold ice cream.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough sale for me. What about Widowmaker?
Hmm, that's a difficult one because she's got that precise burst of flavor. You gotta maybe some chocolate chip is what I'm thinking. Right,
I
vanilla
think
chocolate chip.
because of her skin color, I think more like a kind of like a boysenberry blueberry,
Yeah,
but
I was.
it's so cold that you can't enjoy it
Yeah,
properly because she's just so cold.
yeah. I was thinking like you have this very you don't have much going on with Widowmaker. You have the vanilla, right? And then you get a chocolate chip, right? And that's the headshot with the Widowmaker, that value and that tastiness that's coming out of that.
Piece de resistance.
Yeah.
All right, all right. What about Hanzo? What do you think Hanzo would flavor would he be?
I'd say mint chocolate chip because it's the same thing as Widowmaker, but you have a little bit more value in between. And then the chocolate chips aren't as much valued as they are with Widowmaker, and you're not gonna get as much maybe.
I want to say he's green tea.
I can see that.
I think he's a green tea kind of guy.
Yeah.
What about Farah?
Hmm. It's a difficult one again. What do you think Far would be before I can come up with an
Well, I
answer?
mean, I see like yellow and blue motifs, so I'm
Hmm.
thinking like maybe like a blue raspberry. Even though it's funny because through an anecdote of mine, my one of my teachers in high school, he said it's like there are no blue raspberries in bless you, bless you.
Let's see.
There are no blue raspberries in nature, so technically you're tasting the color blue.
Hmm.
So I think she would be like a blue raspberry with maybe some like lime in it or something, because she's definitely got a tougher side to her. So she's got a
Yeah, you
little
have to have that little
acidity in her
punch.
ice cream flavor. I feel.
Yeah, I. That's exactly what I'd say. Maybe put some sour spray on that or whatever. Put some acid to make it nice and sour.
All right, all right, all right. But the real question is, what about Sigma? What do you think ice cream flavor he would be?
There's got to be a new one, right?
Maybe.
Listen, I saw this one time at an ice cream shop, all right? I went to an ice cream shop somewhere, and they had lobster ice cream, so I'm going to go with lobster for Sigma.
Lobster ice cream. I'm gonna have to say Rocky Road, just because of his kit.
It's a lot of rocks, yeah.
It is.
That makes
But I would say that the caveat is that no matter what ice cream flavor he is, it sucks because of his whole
yeah,
spiel about his
that's
kit.
fair.
So it could be the worst Rocky Road ice cream you've ever had. Like it's like it feels like there's actual rocks in it, you
Yeah,
know? Like the chocolate isn't even like chocolatey.
yeah. You literally just have rocks. It's awful.
Let's see. Who else? Who else? What about Lucio? What would Lucio's ice cream flavor taste like?
Oh, Lucio's instantly comes to mind is cotton candy. I don't know why, but Lucio, I feel like he enjoys some cotton candy, and he's got that type of flavor to him. You know,
I was gonna say that
Mm.
Lucio is Lucio O's flavored ice cream.
that's
Lucy, okay, cereal ice cream. Can we? Is that a thing?
Exactly.
Can we
If
make that happen? That sounds. I mean, doesn't sound like a bad idea.
it might have
Front.
already happened.
All right. Well, we have to talk to our HR department about that one.
Yeah.
Cereal milk. Use that to make ice cream.
Cereal milk ice cream. Okay, I get it. Right, you get the sweetness from the milk of the cereal. Right, you strain it, and you add some
Exactly.
ice to it. You sweeten it up a little bit more, and then you flavor it. I want to say cotton candy is more Diva's department, though. Right, something really light and
Yeah.
bubbly, like maybe some like bubble gum in it too. Right,
Yeah,
May
that's
is
fair.
fun.
and it's Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew cotton candy with Doritos on the for garnishment.
Mm. It's very fancily presented too, with the Dorito, like one Dorito sticking out of it, so it's like an advertisement almost. You get it every time with that.
All right, all right, all right. So here's another question for you. All right, so what flavor would Genji be?
Well, he's kind of useless right now, so I think he'd be a cup because you can always go with a cone. You never need the cup.
Instead of I need healing, he says I need ice cream. He's the guy that's like, hey, who's gonna get me a cup of ice
Yeah,
cream?
no, he's the spoon. I take it back, actually. Or he's a fork with ice
I
cream, I
would say if
guess.
he was a flavor, I think he would just be like mochi. Like instead of like green tea, he'd be more like
Right.
he'd be on the sweeter side. I want to say he's probably like mango or something.
Mm,
Like maybe like a lime mango. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it would taste good together, but I
mm.
don't know. Limes and mangoes are just
Which hero do
so
you think would
different.
represent cookies and cream the best, though?
Soldier 76, easy.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that's got a weakness for cookies and cream. I know I do.
Yeah, I feel like Moira personally is going to be definitely a twist. No, ice cream twist.
Something that has like a really weird fusion that works.
Is there peanut butter and jelly ice cream?
That would be that would be
God, I
Winston's
hope not.
banana, no, peanut butter banana.
There you go.
Peanut butter banana for
Winston.
Winston.
That could work. Actually.
What about let's see. What about Anna? What do you think Anna would? I feel like she's oatmeal.
She's old, so it's gonna be like Werther's Originals flavored ice cream.
Oh, looks like
Oh,
we're getting
there's
back
something
into the
like-
match.
Something like crumble. Alrighty, and we're coming right back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we are welcoming Silas 6 as the replacement for the DC, but that is okay. We've got 3 minutes, 35 seconds, and after our banter, we are ready to jump right back into things. Alrighty, and the team fight here seems to have fizzled out because they will need to regroup here. That is okay, they picked into the Sigma. Okay, so we've got a Sigma on both sides, and we have a Moira on both sides. We even have an Orisa on both sides, so a lot of commonalities with these teams. There's also lots of differences.
Bakugo gets a pick there, which could be huge for this. Also, you gotta be wondering, how is this sub going to affect Elysium's play? You're gonna have a lot less teamwork maybe out of it.
Alright, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. We've seen the coalescence come in. Bakugo going uncontested with the sniper here. That is a kill for them. And this Ballistica picking up another dragon. So, having a not too hard of a time defending him. They are holding just fine. No ultimates on behalf of Elysium, but that will change in about another team fight or so. The rest coming up on the Moira. They're going to come right back in. Elysium infrared vision ready to go. The Valkyrie almost ready for Mercy. The Supercharger for Orisa. Riptire also. So it looks like really all these team fights, the following will just be Soul dishing out punishments very carefully.
No one
I
can
think what you'll see here is a
hide from my
coalescence
sight.
while the Elysium is engaging, or just a straight up pick on Nick to Nick.
And really just the infrared vision, obviously it does give them a little bit more intel. They've gotten onto the point. So they will need to force them off, but they're not struggling too much here with the defense once again. Soul, again, I would argue that as that time goes down, when they're defending, they play even better as well. It isn't just restricted to offense. Their defense is also scaling with the time limit going down.
I think what we're going to be seeing here is probably a Junkrat Riptire to try and get a pick, and if they can't do that, probably a Coalescence and a Moral. Or a Widowmaker can just click heads as she does.
1 minute 10 seconds to go. Nick 2K picking up a double kill. Ballistica picking up on Ray. The Coalescence coming out. They've only got a minute left, so they're going to have to make these last team fights count. They might be able to get maybe 2 at most, but we have just enough ultimates for 1 team fight here. And if it's a good one, then they can sweep the point. But I don't know how it's going to go. We've seen the Reaper come in. He doesn't have that possible. Sitting popping his ult here. The Supercharger does go down. And through a lack of a better word, they have been pushed off the point. And Soul forced to regroup.
That Junkrat Riptire is not getting used, which is not what you want to see. You want to see that Junkrat Riptire getting used and get ready and go. Maybe get a pick before the fight starts, get that value. But he's really struggling with that Junkrat right now because they're going past your Junkrat, so he's not getting much value at all.
This will improve your condition.
Now, we have seen the payload just move up ever so gently here. And Soul having to regroup for what seems the 100th time here. It seems that switch, that sub has not hampered them at all, but it is providing a new challenge for the defender.
I think what we'll see is probably a Widowmaker Wells and a Junkrat Riptire going on at the same time, giving that Junkrat to get the most amount of value out of that tire. Maybe it's just a pick, but it could be more.
Death Blossom does pull out.
Big ultimate combination.
And that is a triple kill. Now, you might be saying to yourself, that was a big play. Why didn't you get excited? And I have to say, every play they've done has been a big play. It's just so hard because now then you see that they do something even bigger on the next play. And like, oh, now I gotta get excited for that. So all I can say is everything they're doing, both sides, they're big. Honestly, I've not seen any small plays here. And that's saying something.
That Junkrat Riptire, for how long it was saved, you'd expect a huge value out of it, but it only got 1 kill on a fight that didn't matter. You gotta be wondering, why keep that Junkrat? Why not use that fight earlier? It's really held them back from having a proper comp that can contest the Elysium's comp. It's gonna cause them maybe the whole entire match at this point.
Alright, so we are coming right into the 3rd checkpoint here. And Elysium not doing too bad here, actually. They're just ready to go on the corner. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock still, and if so, them from here, then all of them have not been for naught. But I'm not quite sure. It looks like Elysium is going to sweep them off the point again. And within sneezing distance, do they come into the point? Sound barrier does go down. Provides them plenty of cushion to pick off the remaining members of their team. We're seeing a swap into the Reinhardt, but it's going to be too late.
Looks like that sub didn't affect them at all. Looks like it just made them better. That's not usually something you see.
Switching sides.
Alright, and now Soul will be attacking, and we're going to see what happens.
Initiating match.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You have to tell me, Essel, what have you been thinking about these last few games?
I've been thinking Soul's a strong contender here, but it's those small little things that are holding them back, I think, from reaching their true potential. They seem like they're a strong team, but against like those smaller things, they're getting punished for it time and time again. Maybe not playing properly against the playstyle, maybe not using a certain ultimate a certain way, maybe a big rotation that got you no value. It's a lot of issues like that, those small issues that they need to finely tune and just change up a bit,
Ready
and then
for
they'll be a
battle.
strong contender, I think. Looks like
And we're seeing an Anna, okay, and we're seeing a Reinhardt. And it brings back the days of old, back
Attackers
when nano
incoming
boosted
in 30
Reinhardts were the bane
seconds.
of all. And
we even see,
tanks experienced a golden age with Anna.
yeah, we even have a Bastion from the side of Elysium here. I wonder how that's gonna affect it. Are they gonna? You can't really run a Reinhardt into it, can you? Unless they're gonna go for the speed boost charge strategy with a Sigma Shield, because if you did not know, a Sigma Shield goes at the exact same speed as a speed boost amped Reinhardt, so maybe they're going with that strategy.
Attackers incoming.
But then again, an Orisa with left shift could stop that dead in its tracks, but looks like they're going back to Orisa. No fun today.
Now, when I do look at this team comp here, I think one thing is another bunker composition that is modified with Sigma. But building around the Bastion, it hasn't really proven to be a bad thing, especially
Yeah.
because nobody seems to want to play Diva this time around. And
I think, honestly, Soul does not have enough damage to break the bunker. With a Widowmaker and a Kree, you don't have enough damage to put into those shields and break them, or maybe even go on offhand. Those are very vulnerable heroes when they go on those offhand. Maybe you want a Fire or something, contest the skies, and get views on the Bastion, but I don't know. I think they need more damage.
now, on the theme of damage, right? We've got a Pharah with no Mercy in tow, which is very rare, I would say. Okay, so we did see the swap into the Mercy here for the pharmacy. But Pharah just really does shine when she has Mercy in her pocket. Simply because, right, you get the damage boost and you can heal in the air, which you're already a hard target to hit. There aren't really many heroes in the game that can dispose of her unless you have a decent hit scan on your team. Right?
This
And-
4v4 battle is gonna change a lot about the dynamic of how it's played. Maybe they go for each other in the playstyle, or maybe they go on a flank like Nick just did to kill the Widowmaker.
And taking a look back at Nick, right, the DPS has been solid on behalf of Elysium. I haven't really had any shockers when it comes to their playstyle. They've got great tracking, they've got great kills spread, first of all.
Soul got really split there. They had 3 on the front and 3 on the far there. And with Nether Dragon, he used his bongo there, perhaps in an inopportune time. Maybe he wants to save it for a push where he knows he won't win it without it.
Now, we've seen before that right when we think they're running out of time, that is exactly when they plan to push on to the point. So I will just have to give them the benefit of the doubt as as necessary, because Soul, again, that every time they lose a second, they just put proportionally in strength. It's really strange to me that
That barrage and res is not what you want to see out of Elysium with a long spawns and a res coming from Soul. That's huge. This could change the tide. Like you were talking about, with time, they just get better.
and a minute 20 left, they secured one piece of that capture pie. But Elysium not giving it up just yet. They have been forced into a corner here. They're going to try and push out, hopefully soon. They're going to lose the objective. Okay, we'll see. Giving them a little bit more breathing room. The power booster does come out,
60 seconds.
and Fridge does pick up a melee kill on Nick 2 Nick. That is going to sting. Respawning, but okay, we're seeing Bastion still on the floor here doing work. Does not go down. Oh no, they're not, just barely unable to contest.
We had a Mercy out for blood that match. I don't know if you saw that. That Mercy out as an offensive tool instead of as a defensive one.
Well, as the
No.
Battle Mercy is called in Overwatch, she becomes the Harmacist.
Looks like we're going to be seeing a swap over to Widowmaker from both sides mainly, but Bakugo a little bit behind in that ult charge, and a Reaper over a Doomfist coming up from Soul. Wonder how that's going to affect the matchup.
Alrighty, and we've got Onyx on the Mercy and Frid on the other Mercy. I would like to see, really, this is going to boil down to who can pocket better here. Because this next point is notoriously difficult to traverse. And you've got great healers.
2 down for Elysium. This could be big. But we've seen them pull this back before. Maybe they get a pick on that Reaper. Maybe they change the tide. Looks like it's not gonna be this fight though. I think what we see out of Elysium a lot is they have very staggered spawns, but they're always on that payload, making sure that they're contesting it, causing a lot of time loss for Soul. And sometimes when they contest it long enough at a point where it's close to capping, they come back and they win the fight, even though they're originally down 2 or 3.
So we're at a minute 45, but again, I want to say I don't even want to pay attention to the time because I know that as they run the timer down, they're only going to play better. So technically, I'm curious to see what happens if these two teams, if they were allowed to play infinitely, you know, would the overtime just laugh indefinitely?
That's a Reaper suicide right there to try and regroup his team and not get staggered as hard. Looks like we have a Reaper ult from Soul here. You wonder, is he going to teleport on top of the chandelier and then go for it when the Orisa ult comes? Or is he just going to go for it straight in their faces? This Coalescence too from Elysium could matter the whole game.
Now, they are going to rear the corner here and say that they're going to pop some crazy strategy that may work. I am going to go crazy if they pull off a team kill to secure the shot. So we see that the meteor strike, it doesn't really do anything here, but we get a kill on Bevis. Sigma getting a kill and Ray picking up another one. So their defense, right? They've got the solid defense here, and they're going to keep Soul off the objective.
I'd like to see a more aggressive play there from Soul after they got that pick. They let the enemy team just stabilize. That's not what you want to do. Of course, they get the pick on the Reaper there, but even then, I think you can play aggro into that. They had resources and they were down those resources.
And a minute 45 left to go, and they are playing pretty safe here, right? That Blossom does go down, picks up a single kill, okay. Great start here, there's a trade for trade here. It is neck and neck, but Bevis are going to be double kill. They do resecure the payload, and they've got pretty much a straight shot to the objective here. It's going to round the corner, and unless they get on the last minute, I don't know if they'll have, let's see, Reaper going to try and prevent them from coming right onto the point here.
But Beat and Orisa that might come out of Elysium here if they get into the nitty-gritty of it, but they might just win off of their merits alone. Looks like no ultimates are even needed from back.
And that's just another beautiful thing about this game, right? You have teams that are, even when they don't have anything at their disposal immediately, they still save their ultimates, right? They push them off the point. Now, for their last team fight, look at the disparity here, right? You've got no ultimates for Soul, right? And then you've got 3 for Elysium. But even then, it may not even mean anything, just because Soul plays so much better. And they're getting stressed out. And that last 30 seconds, they're going to go into overdrive.
That's a big pick there. Oh, another big pick going back, though. It's a limb for a limb game right now. Soul Reaper on the side. Bongo being destroyed. Looks like this Orisa has no gold. Looks like she's about to be destroyed. We have a meteor strike going down on the point. Gets one. This could go either way. It's a 3v4 right now. 2v4. Looks like Doomfist uses his ult. Sigma falls. Lucy on the point. Looks like it's just Doomfist.
It's just sneezing distance, and they've gotten it. But somehow the Hammond comes right back onto the point, buying them much-needed time. For the rest of the team to respawn. Death Blossom does come out, does kill the other Reaper, and he's taking it, but not without just barely skin of their teeth.
Score.
It's secured as a draw now, and if you're Elysium, you know you're gonna win this, I think. You have that feeling of, I'm gonna win this, but maybe you don't. Maybe in the end, you lose it. You get a draw. But that affects your map score by 1, and in the end of the day, that could affect you a lot, or it could affect you very little. We don't know, but I can tell you that for sure, Elysium is going to strive to take this point right now.
Poetry in motion, if I ever saw it myself, I tell you right now.
Ready for battle.
Ooh, a Sombra maybe. That could be interesting, going for that EMP as a win condition, considering you only need 1 fight and that 1 tick. Maybe you don't go for the Sombra value overall, but you go for the value in the EMP.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Meanwhile, we see a Bastion on the side of Soul. We've seen that work for them before. Granted, they had a Symmetra that time. But also Bakugo on the Widowmaker. He's been skilled on this all day. It's just a wonder of how will this affect the rest of the team. Will the change of Elysium have to play to adjust to this Widowmaker? Or are they just gonna straight up go out and try and rule? Maybe a swap off the Doomfist into a Pharah for more damage, but at the end of the day, it's up to the teams and not up to me.
All they have to do is capture one tick. One tick, and they take it 4-0. But can they do it?
Rotate to the right of the tower, trying to get a closer engage distance. The Doomfist lives despite being rocked, however Bakugo falls. Bastion alone with no shield still gets a pick. He's got the immortality field, and now he has a shield, gets another pick. Looks like Soul might be willing to hold this. There isn't a Orisa on the flank, however. That's not something you see too often.
It honestly hurts me at some level that nobody thought to maybe use a D.Va on either side to get rid of a Bastion. Simply because the D.Va can just eat enough projectiles long enough just so that they can focus him down. But, building around a Bastion in this game seems to have been a dominant strategy that works for both sides. It doesn't really seem like either side has found a way around it quite yet, but you see how they're backed into the corner and still that Bastion is getting lots of damage in.
Looks like Elysium might try and take it here. Looks like they're up. Looks like they just may. With only a trace.
That might be it.
Oh, that's a massive 2K though,
double
maybe.
kill from Bakugo.
It's not
Fantastic,
enough.
but not enough, and that is okay. We have seen it. Give me a wonderful 4 games, and why don't you give me a play of the game?
Play of the game.
That match score does not show how truly close this match actually was. You hate to see it though, a solid 4-0, but it felt like maybe it should be a 3-1 or even a 3-2. But I think at least the Soul in the first half I felt could get a 3-2, maybe a reverse sweep going on, or at least a 3-1, but that C9 really affected their mental state, I felt like. They just were down and out after that.
Epic.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful 4 games have been played. It has been a pleasure casting with you, SO, and we will be wrapping it up again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your play-by-play caster today, Childish Rambino. And as we go into the sunset, know that the spirit of the game is always to improve and better yourself. And without further ado, I pass it over to a gracious thank you from my producer. Thank you so much for tolerating us and letting us do the mouth noises. No, thank you. You help make this all happen, and from one person to another, I appreciate you most of all. You're the real MVP.
Yeah.
Yes. But we will see you all next time, ladies and gentlemen. Stay classy, and most of all, keep playing Overwatch.
I am available. No, I can go. I can go through kind of just what I observed. So initially, actually, yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm Careless. I am the coach for the Revolution flagship team Turbulence, who is actually also competing in this tournament set. We also have had showings in quite a few other Tier 3 tournaments in the scene. I came here just to kind of provide a after game analysis for anyone that's interested in hearing it. Now, moving into the first 2 maps, we actually saw Elysium struggling a lot with just ultimate usage. There was either overcommitments or letting fights go that they could have invested into to preserve, and they later into the match started to actually really get over that and do a really, really good job of preserving ultimates when they needed to, but also using them to extremely high value. Now, up until his disconnect, Hestia was actually a big superstar in this matchup and seemed to be performing at a really high level, not only mechanically but also really high synergy with a. Sorry, I'm probably going to butcher the name. I have it. Sorry, they left lobby, so I've got to scroll up to it. Oh, Kato Alter? Really good synergy with Kato Alter, and Kato Alter had to bounce between, pocketing Hestia's play and moving to support the core, but also the flex support for Elysium also did a really good job of holding down that core, which gave Kato Alter a lot more time to operate with that off angle and help to provide a lot of value there. Now, one of the primary things that Seoul had going for them was that they did a really good job at playing patient. They were looking for specific value. They were looking for specific like triggers to make their engagement happen. But Elysium being a more proactive team and getting out there and saying we're deciding where and when this engagement happens just proved to be more effective. Yeah, we still hear you.